Welcome once again to our CEUs for installers and service providers. This will be the first of two sessions that are 3 hours apiece, so you'll be able to get your 6 required CEUs here at the Health Department. Certainly you can go elsewhere if you'd like, but we try to provide that to you. Today we're going to have a discussion first about Ohio Underground Utilities Protection Service. Some of you are aware that some of the laws have changed, and we wanted to at least make you aware of that and keep you abreast of that situation, where your responsibilities lie there. We don't want to be ignorant when it comes to that. So we want to give you a brief talk on that. After that, we want to talk about the property transfer programs and things that are going on there. And lastly, operation and maintenance program. Now, if we have time, if time permits, we'll also do a few programmatic updates. We're kind of just seeing how things go today. So, in the back, we do have some muffins this morning, and feel free to take some of those. They've been brought to us by Full Service. Did I get that right? Full Service Property Inspection. They've offered to bring that, and we appreciate that. And, help yourself to that. There's coffee. I've tasted it. It's pretty stout, so I hope you like it that way. Keep you awake this morning. Go ahead. I did also want to mention to you that, and we'll hopefully have a little time at the end to touch on this, the State of Ohio Sewage Code looks like it will probably be changing January of 2014. So you might want to keep in touch on that and see where that's going, because it will make changes in the way you do business, some more than others. So just know that that's happening. In December, we're hopeful that we'll have much better information to provide you on what that actually means to you. So there was a draft that came out. The draft was an early informal draft that was put out by the State Health Department. They had over 2,000 comments come back on that draft. So they compiled all those comments, and then now they are producing a second formal draft that has to go through the formal processes when you adopt rules and regulations. So that'll be taking place in the next few months, and we believe that we'll probably be seeing something come out January 2014. Honestly speaking, I think what you'll find is the people in this room that are doing work in Stark County, this code is probably going to be less stringent than where you're at right now. So I think we would all appreciate that. Most of us would. So without anything further, I'd like to introduce Matt Hennis, who's with Oops, and we'll let him take over our discussion.
How's it going, everybody? I appreciate your time. Everything that I'm talking to you about today pertains to you as a professional excavator and as a homeowner, okay? The law does not differentiate between the two, so everything I talk to you about today is for both homeowner and professional excavator. Today, the things that we're going to cover is why OOPS is important, the dangers, the damages, laws, prevention, and updates to the current law. Anybody can guess what year that is? Downtown New York City. Anybody? 1920s, close. 1913, downtown New York. That's a lot of utilities in that one intersection. Today, that we found a Google map shot of that same intersection, and that's what it looks like today with everything marked out. Most of that stuff you saw in that previous slide is probably still in working condition. So there is a lot of stuff on the ground that that a lot of people don't know about. Right here, somebody did not respect the marks, hit a gas line. Gas went back up into the house, and you see what happened. It ignited, and the house is no longer there. Right here, another incidental contact. That's a 24-inch pipe that was carrying about 1,500 psi. Somebody hit that, and it made a ignition, and that's what happened. Took out a couple farmhouses. So respecting the marks, I believe they did not call the protection service. They were just out in the middle of the field doing some digging. Right here, a homeowner went out, thought he'd rent a excavator or a trencher to install something. The story I'm going to tell you is not from this picture, but we had an incident down in Columbus. A guy did the same thing. He went out, rented a trencher, was going to run gas, or not gas, but water and electric out to a building he just built behind his house. Didn't call us, didn't get the location marked. He ran into the same situation, hit a gas line, it ignited. He did not get hurt, but it cost him $12,000 to replace that trencher. History of OOPS. We were founded in 1972 by the East Ohio Gas, Cleveland Electric Illuminating Company, and Ohio Bell. 1979, we became a nonprofit organization. We're a nonprofit organization. How do you think we're funded? Anybody?
Must be a
No.
Donations.
We're a standalone organization. We're not funded by the government.
You don't get any grants.
Huh?
You don't get any grants?
We did get grants through PHMSA, but in a couple more slides I'll explain to you. They came out and said as long as we have exemptions in our law, we will not receive any more grants from PHMSA. So we did receive grants before, but as of right now, with the exemptions in the law, we will not be receiving any more funding from them. But coming back to my question, how are we funded? We are funded by the actual members of OOPS, which is the utility companies. They pay for our service, okay? So we're not, government funded. In 2012, we celebrated 40 years, and this past year was the first time that there's been an update in the current DIG law this past January, since 1990. That's when the law went into effect, and there hasn't been any updates to the law until this past year. Who operates OOPS? Like I said, we're a nonprofit organization. We're located out in Youngstown, Ohio, not Columbus. A lot of people think we're out of Columbus, but we're not. We're in Youngstown, Ohio. If you call us, you'll actually talk to a live CSR. CSRs are the people that are taking all the information that you're giving us. If you call us on Christmas Day, you'll get a live CSR. Okay, we're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We process about 1 million tickets a year. We have not hit 1 million yet, but we've been close. We're on pace right now this year to surpass 1 million tickets. At each ticket, or at every notification that goes out, we send out 6 to 7 notices to each individual utilities. So one ticket, 6 to 7 utility companies are getting that notice. So 1 million tickets, that's 6 million to 7 million tickets or notices that are going out to the utility companies in 1 year. In the month of May, we took about 111,000 tickets in 1 month. In the past 3 months, June, July, and August, we are over 100,000 each month since then too. So there's been a lot of digging going on this past year. If you guys have any questions, please interrupt, raise your hand, I'll take your question, please do that. What do we do? This is a big misconception with the public. Us, OOPS, we do not mark the lines. Okay, let's get that straight. We do not mark the lines. It is the utility's responsibility to mark their facility, what they own and operate. Okay, most companies don't do it themselves. They hire private utility companies. Most of you probably know the biggest utility locate service here is USIC, formerly CLS. But Like I said, we do not mark the lines. There's 4 field guys for OUPS. You're looking at one of them. Okay? We got 3 others that are located throughout the state. What is an excavation? That's the legal definition of an excavation. In this excavator manual that you might have picked up, that's in there. It's on our website, whatnot. I'm not going to read it to you. I can sum it up. If you're penetrating the earth, you're doing an excavation, basically. Trenching, doing a deck, fence, whatnot. Drainage, blasting, augering, any of that. If you're penetrating the earth, you're doing an excavation. Tree stump removal. You're doing an excavation. You're disturbing the earth. Do we have any farmers in here? Anybody? Farmers get an exemption to 12 inches of dirt, turning it over. That's one of the exemptions in the law. If you're turning the earth over less than 12 inches, you don't have to call us. The process, what we like you to do, as far as calling before you dig, is we want you to plan your work. We want you to pre-mark your work in white. This is a change in the law here. This is one of the updates. It was always suggested by us to pre-mark your work or pre-mark your site in white. Now it's the actual law. You're supposed to pre-mark in white. So that's one of the updates in the law, current law. Place the call to us. You can call us by phone, which is 1-800-362-2764. Call 811. Or we actually have an online remote ticket entry system now that you can go on and sign up for. Can anybody tell me what 811 is? What's that? No, just what is 811?
It's a national network.
Yes, it's a national call number, just like 911. If you call 811 here, you'll be transferred to our 800 number. The call comes to our call center. If you're in Indiana, Illinois, whatnot, call 811. It goes to their call center. So it's just a short number that people can remember. 811, better than remembering 3 or 4 different 800 numbers for each other state or different states and stuff. Wait your 48 hours, okay? Once you go out to your site, perform a site assessment. Performing a site assessment, I mean, take a look around, make sure everything that you see is marked out. You might see a drop coming down a pole that's not been marked. You might want to, make that second phone call to us saying, hey, I'm out here such and such, not marked. Please, send somebody else to respond to see whose this is. Or a fire hydrant. It's not marked out. So performing a site assessment means, taking the surroundings, making sure everything that you see is actually located. And lastly, dig with care. Initialing a dig notice, like I said, there's 4 ways you can get a hold of us. You can go through our iDig, eDig program. iDig is for professional excavators that are calling in, 5 to 10 tickets a day. It's an online thing that you have to do through our website. You go on there, you read the manual, you watch a couple videos. It'll take you about 45 minutes to an hour to do the whole thing. Once you do all that, then you'll be emailed a questionnaire. You go through that questionnaire, send it to us. Then one of our technicians will get you all set up with a username and password, and you'll be able to go online and actually do it lively. And basically with the iDig, that's putting you as a CSR, okay? You're becoming a live CSR. You're putting in all the information online, and you're picking the actual notification area of the actual utilities being notified.